Hey everyone, welcome to this week's video. I hope this message finds you and your family doing well. You know, this past week I've been hearing from you and how you're adjusting to your new routines and how you're adjusting to being at home and to the new modes of learning and interacting that you've been doing. Most of all, you've talked about how adjusting to all of these changes has been pretty hard. And you know, I get it. This change has been pretty difficult for me too. Frankly, most change, but especially this one, is difficult. But the truth is, we're actually pretty resilient creatures. And so I wonder, perhaps it's not that we're having difficulty adjusting so much to what's new as we are having difficulty letting go of what we thought the semester was going to be. At least for me, this seems to be true. In so many ways, I'm reminded that we're going through the stages of grief. Part of the reason the changes we're experiencing are difficult is because we're grieving. We're grieving the loss of what we knew. We're grieving the loss of one another's company. We're grieving the loss of what we imagined for ourselves. And many of us are grieving the loss of a loved one due to the virus. Well, here's what Elisabeth Kubler-Ross taught us about the grief process. She taught us that we should expect to have feelings of denial that the change is real. She taught us that we should expect to feel angry sometimes, and that it's likely that we'll try to bargain or convince someone to do something that will return us to what we used to know and what we expected. She taught us that it's totally normal that we feel depressed sometimes. And she taught us that eventually we come to acceptance. The truth is, grief is just pretty messy, and we're all in it. And if experience has taught me anything, wherever you are in your grieving process, it's important to acknowledge it. It's important to acknowledge it so it doesn't accidentally come out sideways and cause you to lash out. So that's what experience has taught me. We are experiencing loss and change. Yes, that's true. But this doesn't mean that we can't also find reasons for joy and gladness. You know, Passover began this evening, and this week is the holiest of seasons in the Christian calendar. And later this month, Ramadan will begin. People of faith all over the world are discovering how to amend their communal traditions while continuing to be anchored to the God who sustains and breathes new life in us. We are experiencing the loss of community and finding reasons for joy. You know, this year, instead of choosing to give up something for Lent, I vowed to express gratitude. Looking back on Ash Wednesday, I never could have imagined how challenging the practice of daily gratitude would be. Lent 2020, just like nearly every Lent of my adult life, has been nothing like what I expected. The challenges and grief of this season have not been welcome, but they have given me an opportunity for enormous growth. And I wonder if the same is true for you, perhaps. I hope so. So we're heading into Easter break and the celebration of God's redeeming love. Perhaps we can also use this time to retool so the frustration and grief associated with the changes we're experiencing don't become the whole story. Maybe there are aspects about learning online or interacting with your peers over Zoom that are working for you. What can you do to maximize those? Conversely, if there are things that aren't working for you, What are some viable alternatives that might work better? Maybe it's as simple as joining friends for a meal over FaceTime or scheduling a study session together. These are simple solutions, and I hope you can find one. One of the things that seems to be working for me is making these videos for you. They remind me that you are the reason that my work is so rewarding. And for that, I am very grateful. So until next week, I wish you health and many, many reasons for joy. Oh, also, just like I promised, I'm on Instagram. I'm a little nervous. P.S. I could use a tutor. So if you want to volunteer for this important role, please do email me. Okay, thanks in advance. I really appreciate it. Talk to you soon.